can't help yourself, I think you need some help. You can't help yourself, I think you need some help. If you can't help yourself, I think you need some help. Need some help, help. I take and the stressing. Like we feel some we're talking. But you see, we need to mean your depression. And so we keep it all in. Yes, a good morning. Now you're just so morning. How are you? Yes, I am fine. Even when suicide is on my mind. I did me campa. Rebecca said Marvin. Life in East Past be traumatic. Oh, can you say shattered? Don't ever talk about it till you're in the mood. You're my pee in a higher drink, but who to tell? Charlie, who to tell? My cousin was defiled and she's carried it around all her life. My paddy and daddy die. Mommy cries all the time, but she no go do therapy and let it be. Yeah, she no go discuss it and be free. Me cry, me sha. Yeah, put me, yeah, Jack me first time. Now your sister if ya. One day I'll talk about sister if ya. When I find the courage and someone to trust, I go do. But for now, yeah, may swear me baggage. Me mo be swa ikwa me nkwa.
Yeah. When you ask how I'm doing, you sound like you care. When you say how you doing, you sound like you share. But we both know you don't. We both know you won't, so never mind, I'm doing fine.
What's up, yo? This is Views Podcast. Welcome to another exciting episode. I'm so happy. Anyways, my name is Derek.
My name is Jay.
And Charlie, welcome. Actually, I'm so happy. Yeah, now let me talk the happy. I think we put out a podcast about, I think it was Breaking the Cycle, where it was all men, all boys.
All hard niggas,
yeah. Then people were like, I mean, we had a backlash on Twitter, and people were like, where are the women?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
It was on Twitter and it was on WhatsApp as well. It was like private.
Yeah, it was everybody saying that, Charlie, where are the women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, today we've got a lovely lady.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, Charlie.
Finally. There'll be hard niggas on the line. You got nice girls. We've got a nice voice on the line today.
Exactly. So we have a lovely lady in the building. She goes by the name Gamel. I think we've had her here before.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
City
we have.
Operation Feed Yourself.
Operation Feed Yourself.
Operation Feed Yourself. Come on.
Charlie, she did Kaisef.
Charlie.
So, welcome, Gamel.
Thank you.
AKA G Smith.
Representing.
I forgot to the guys on G Spot. You know, I mean, what do you think? What we are going to talk about is best we start laughing and shit, because you know,
it's a bit deep.
Yeah, and I think last time we did a Kojo Cue, Rich Dad Poor Dad, we said we'll be, you know, talking more about his album, and there's another song on there which, you know, resonate. It hits home.
Yeah. Never
Mind. In Africa, we all think, Charlie, the black man or the go therapy. You know,
he can't.
Yeah.
It looks weird if he does.
The biggest crime in Africa is one we and anum we or wabodam.
Ahomanate.
Yeah, so,
Ahomanate.
You know what I'm saying? So anything you say remotely close to mental health issues, mental illness, you know, it's like you are victimized.
Yeah.
And then you know, the rest is history. You all know. You about them high fever and you know, but maybe you may be dealing with some issues from your background, where you come from, and stuff like that. So that's what we are talking about today. Never Mind. You listen to the song.
I listen to the song,
and I think it was very artistic picking the name Never Mind.
Yeah.
Because never and mind means never mind, like
brush it off.
Yeah, you know,
brush
just
it
brush it
off.
off. But at the same time, never and mind means it's like you never pay attention to your mind. Because in Africa we don't really pay attention to our mental health.
Yeah.
So I think it was a clever way to name a track, given what he spoke about in the track, the lyrics. If you've listened to it, look, yo, listeners, if you go listen to the song, if you want to really make sense out of this
Kojo
podcast,
Cue. Never Mind.
go listen to the song.
Check it out. Yeah.
So I think that one big ups to Kojo Cue. Yo, Kojo, Charlie, this be the second one we didn't give you. Come on this podcast.
Second time it's it's true though.
We'll get him. With me we'll get Kojo Cue.
With you, we'll get Kojo Cue.
It's no long thing. Don't worry.
My man, I like that. Yeah, but what do you think of the song, The Never Buy?
Listen, first of all, I don't even say that the song, the whole album.
Yeah.
Right? The whole album, Big Guy. I think, so to me, the first time I heard the album, it was in your car. I think we were going somewhere. It was like a long trip.
Then we go to the village.
Yeah. So the album was on play. And I don't know if the songs were on repeat or on shuffle or whatnot, but the whole album played. And for every song that came on, it sparked a different conversation. It sparked a different mood, and it sparked a different tone in the car. Because the more that the song was playing, the more we had different conversations about different aspects of the album. And for a song to spark a debate or a conversation, that's mad. You get me? Because it's trying to tell you that it's relevant, and it's trying to tell you that it hits home for some people or for most people.
Yeah.
So first of all, Nevermind is something we actually have to take a look at, because mental health in Ghana, for what we know, is it's something we don't talk about. I think it's like the second thing close to sexual health or sexual reproduction. It's like
that convo with your child.
It's like you don't talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
don't talk about it.
That's the biggest crime is we, and that's what about them.
Yibab?
Yeah, but elsewhere, people classify that as an illness, a disease.
Yeah.
Where like you need help, you need to go get help.
Yeah.
But here, we are just what about them? So they are Charlie, fuck you. Like,
but then what's the case where, or why is a war about them? You're exhibiting that.
Yeah, still what about them? They can't get it.
But so what you're saying is the facts say yes about them, or you're exhibiting signs of madness, means that you've probably taken something illicit. So you've taken some illicit drugs.
That's the mentality here, bro.
And
that's what. But Charlie, Gamel, we need to talk to Gamel.
We
need to
hear the voice. Come on.
We've got a sexy ass voice. You need to listen to Gamel. Gamel, what's your take on that track, though?
Future no good.
To Kojo Cue's album, first of all, I heard it when my brother was playing it. This guy kept it on repeat, like I don't even know how many times. But I kept on asking him that, Charlie, like this album, what's up? Because everybody was talking about it. He was like, you go and listen. And I understood my brother, because it hit home for my brother. And in a way, it hits home for me, because there's some lines that I heard and I'm like, no. Yo! Because growing up, I don't know, I might want to go a little personal here.
There you go. We've been like
but growing up, my dad left Ghana when we were very, very young, you see. And when he left, he wasn't in like contact with us for like often. It affected me so much because my dad was my best friend. So for me, it's like I had lost a friend. So growing up, my mental state was I'm not loved, or I need friendship. And today, like, it's pretty hard for me to keep up with some friendships. But for my brother, his was no mentorship, no coaching, no guidance, no father, nobody to show you, say, Charlie, you be man, you for do this, you for do that. That was it. So sometimes when I hear my brother talk, he's like, yo, Charlie, you day there, your puppy day there, and since Charlie, who go? You see, it's like, who is there to even talk to when you have this problem or that problem? You get it? Because your mom might not get you like the way your dad will get you. That's it. So when he played that album and I heard a few songs, especially the one we listened to, I was like, no, Charlie, this guy is speaking facts. And there are quite a lot of things he said, and I've heard it before. if I'm permitted to talk about Sister Ifya in the track,
Yeah, you are, man.
and I've heard a story like that where an 8-year-old girl tried that on about a 4-year-old boy.
8 years, no, Asha.
Yes, you see, in this state, like when you see something like that, work on the small boy, but also ask why the 8-year-old girl is acting like that.
Yeah.
Somebody might have tried raping her, somebody might have tried teaching her, check the environment the girl lives in, like all these things, but nobody takes that into consideration. Their own is, why you even do that to my son, and all those things. But the person who noticed it said, no, I'll work on my son, but your daughter needs to be taken care of.
Oh, hold on.
She's been exposed to something.
I didn't get the picture of what you're painting.
So-
what did the girl do?
An 8-year-old girl
Was molesting
was molesting a
4-year-old
4-year-old.
girl.
Oh,
Like,
that's what you're saying.
kid,
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Get me? So
Kojo Cue
instead of
mentioned.
just looking at it from one angle,
From
Yeah.
okay.
it takes two to tango. So you have to look at the other
Okay.
angle as well. That's very smart.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's why we did it.
That's why we got Camille here. Come on.
So
Yeah,
you have
but-
to look at things in that angle, else, Charlie. And if I tell you, these two kids live in two different environments. One environment, the girl lives in an environment that's full of guys who drink, a very busy area, like, and they don't have, like, she doesn't have that protection. Like, nobody's on her. They're like, oh, koto ade mami. Like, they're always sending her in and out, and they don't care where you go.
Yeah.
And then this boy comes from a family where everybody's on you. Their eyes are on you. So this kid locked up in the same room with an 8-year-old girl, and look at the blend. Then in the end, you feel like this boy has been exposed to something that you wish your son was never exposed to at that early stage.
Yeah. You've got a point. I mean, I think when we did the cycle, our caption was too many broken people out here raising broken kids
Yo.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people grow up broken and they don't even know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I have an example, but I don't think I can talk about it. Not personal, but like a friend of mine. He's broken, but he doesn't even know. And as friends, we try to help, but
He still doesn't see what you're
the
talking
damage
about.
has already been done.
Yeah.
And like I said, these are things that we don't want to. It's almost like a taboo. We don't want to talk about it, but people, they suffer.
Very true.
Sexual molestation, bullying, the environment you come from,
Low self-esteem.
low self-esteem, and all these things. There's something they call the English people chip on your shoulder. There, man.
Okay, you got a chip on your shoulder, yeah.
Yeah.
Those things, and those things don't just happen. It comes from somewhere, like where you come from, your experiences. That's what makes you who you are. And because in our part of the world, people don't really want to talk about these things because, one, you're a bitch.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
If you're a guy,
Yeah.
especially if you're a guy, you're a bitch. Two, what about them? Or they smoke some weed, that sort of thing. So people keep to themselves, and then they have to go through all this all by themselves. But yeah, the flip side is, as broken as they are, they transition that onto other people. So, for instance, that guy gets married, so it's a problem in his marriage, and then he gives birth, and now he's going to pass on his frustrations, his experiences onto his kids, and so it becomes a cycle, and then it keeps going. And my problem is, why is it that we think mental health is a taboo? Mental illness is a taboo. Like, why don't we treat these things as sicknesses or diseases? Like, you need help, you need to go get help. Like, you get gonu.
Do you think we treat it as something we don't understand because we actually do not understand it? Because
I mean, you may have a point, but
because we actually don't like the way Gamal just dive deep into like the whole foundation of the boy the girl growing up. So she didn't just take it face value like but she didn't just take it like that, but it was like, oh, like
you need to
growing
check on
up,
the girl as well.
like the whole foundation, how she grew up. Do you think? I mean, the thing is, for Ghana, we really don't have historical data on a lot of things.
But you see, that's what I was trying to say. This It's okay not to know something growing up, but once you become an adult, you're responsible to know certain things.
Yeah, and
So,
your response to it should also
Exactly.
reflect.
So
yeah.
Ghana is over 60 years now.
Mhm.
If mental health wasn't a thing back in the day, yo,
It should be now.
we are over 60 years now.
We
And
reach
we are in
retirement.
We over retirement.
you know what I'm saying? We are in the information age, you know.
Yeah.
Like, information is everywhere. And, even in your own thinking as a human being, Charlie, certain things, like we said the other time, you are born innately knowing certain things, right? So you should just know that, look, maybe this thing needs to be, talked about. We have to sit down, talk to this kid.
about it.
Look, this thing happened. He's exhibiting these traits because maybe this is where a person is coming from. But if we just group everything, what about them? Oh, when you're high fever, then it becomes a big issue. And I think most people out there we call criminals may not necessarily be criminals.
I like that.
They're looking for something.
I like
Exactly. And they may be like Donald Trump. They are misunderstood.
He's a banger.
Like, personally, that's what I think. I think most people we call criminals. Like, for instance, in Ghana, we call weed smokers criminals. They may be sick. Because when people were doing crack cocaine in the US in the 80s, 70s, they were criminals.
Yeah.
When it crossed over to the white people, they became sick people who needed help.
Who need help? Exactly.
I get the point. So different narratives when it happens to other
Different
people, and I
kinds of
think
people, yeah.
we are still stuck in the 70s when we're doing crack cocaine.
Yes.
Are you getting my point?
We're still
Where we still
sick
looked at it as criminal.
criminals. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is that same mentality that because of that we don't want to like help people who are stuck on some shit, who can actually get out of that and not act a certain way.
But you said something, right? You said so. What you said so far is Onum weed, which is he does weed, and then Waboda, which is his mad, and so that's like the safest portion of the whole thing.
Yeah.
But you can actually also calm down and say suicide is also an effect of this thing.
It is, and so what I'm saying is, we like to rubbish these things into he's mad, he's got high fever, but that person may be dealing with something,
that is more detrimental than
exactly,
all of that,
and he needs help, and this guy will just be walking around with all that baggage, all that burden, and then you can tell, or we don't know, but he's maybe suicide bound, and we don't know that because we just rubbish everything. Are you getting the point that I'm trying to make?
Sure.
And I don't know, Ghana, do we have therapists?
Yes, we do.
We do?
We do have a lot of certified
Ghana.
therapists.
Oh, certified.
Yes,
Wow.
certified.
Seriously?
I'm going to, yes, I know a lot of certified therapists.
Wow, that's
You were about saying something. What did you say?
No. Oh, yes.
It was
For the
sliding out.
record, yes, I am going through therapy.
You're going through
Yes,
therapy?
I am.
No shit.
Why
Yes.
decrease?
I'm not.
So why are you going
I
through
admitted the
therapy?
fact
I don't
that
know we like that.
Chalet, help me. I admitted the fact that I realized that I have anxiety issues, and I searched within me and asked myself why I'm feeling like this, especially when it comes to relationships and other things. And then I could link it to my dad leaving. So it's like it's left some sort of mark in my heart that this guy can leave anytime. So even if I enter a relationship, I'm like, you can leave anytime, so Charlie, do what you want to do.
But that's the truth.
Wow.
Exactly.
Low-key,
But-
I guess story talk
Okay,
after
that's
this.
the truth.
Before you go on, somebody tweeted, finding love in Accra is extreme sport.
It's not a lie. It's not a lie. It's not a lie.
No cap.
So
No cap, man.
Maybe you have a point. Maybe it's not really
you get
anxiety.
it.
It's
But
an
that
extreme sport.
anxiety, it's a thread of things. Do you get it? Because at some point I realized that I'm giving my all so that you don't leave.
Yeah.
And at another point I'm like, why am I giving my all and you're not even seeing it? then I realized, that's the nature of man. You get it? And in the process of giving my all, I break my own standards. That's what is like hurting my esteem. So it leads to anxiety. So I realized all these things, and it's a trend. It keeps on happening over and over again. So I'm like, no, I need to put a stop to this. And the only way I can do that is know myself, know what I'm looking for. What do I want? I just want to be happy in the end. So what are the things that I can do to make me happy? So that's where all this therapy started. And I don't feel bad or shy to talk about it, because I wish each and every one of us would do that.
Just talk about it.
Look within yourself.
Yeah.
Look, it started with me writing letters to God. I literally used to do that anytime I'm sad or anything, and I'll just write how I feel in my diaries and all that. I literally used to do
Then
that.
we hit a jackpot, man.
I literally used to do that because I realized that, first of all, the love I'm looking for, I've realized is conditional with man. And I've come to realize only God gives me that unconditional love. So I got stuck there. And I'm always keeping a man's standard up there. And obviously, y'all will fail every time. So I got frustrated. So my mom just was like, Fabema be better everywhere. I was like, let me work hard, make all my money. And whatever I want, I'll get for you. Forget man. That's exactly what I told her. So I realized that it inflicts. And funny enough, I see the opposite right in front of me. I've seen parents who have been together for so long and their kids are not even rushing or bothered for relationship. Charlie, they want to hit some standard. They want to make it. You get it? So I realized that it's just the need for belonging. I feel like there's this void in there. And you have to understand, you are enough for yourself.
God damn it, man.
So
Shit.
until you get that right, you can never be enough for another person.
Charlie, you say, but look, for the record, black men don't cheat. Yeah. For the record, black men don't cheat.
Where's the cup?
Oh my days.
Who's the cup fits let the words?
Nah, I'm just saying. But I don't know who you've been running around with.
Well,
Black men
I
don't
didn't
cheat.
say there was any
It
cheating.
needs to be said again.
I didn't mention cheating, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Charlie, you said a lot, and that's what I'm saying. We hit the jackpot because the whole point about this Views podcast is, people telling their stories and real experiences, so we can tap from it, and that's something real.
Yeah.
You said you needed to fill the void, and because of that, you expected more from people who necessarily didn't want to give more.
They can't.
Yeah, so you ended up always being disappointed.
Yeah.
Now, if I bring it to my life, I'm the guy who always didn't want to give more, and people expected more from me.
Okay.
And I didn't want to give more because of where I also grew up.
Oh, okay.
Like my background
Yeah.
also made me, like, you're supposed to be the man's man and do whatever the fuck you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
I mean,
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I have a story to tell
Yeah.
on that, and thanks Gamal for actually painting that picture, because if you didn't paint that picture, I wouldn't know that I actually went through depression. I went through depression and anxiety without even knowing. So this was in secondary school, and if any of my secondary school mates, especially the science class, if they're listening to this, they'll probably be a witness to this. Biology class, every single time we had this class, I would sweat. It wasn't. It got to a point. The teacher figured out there's something seriously they do me. So she was like, "Oh, Jeffrey, go and dump in your towel, and then clean yourself up. The water evaporates." Like she turned it into a science experiment. So I did not understand why every time biology, it's just biology. Every time I had a biology class, I would fucking sweat and I would just feel flustered, and I couldn't even concentrate. I think to me the reason was I knew I was going to fail the class. Because one, I didn't like biology. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on in there, and I knew I was going to fail. And low-key, I actually failed that class. That was the only class that I've ever failed in my life. Reason being, I think it came Now that Kama was saying what she was saying, I think I actually now understand why I think I failed that class, or I think I was feeling that way because I think it was because the expectation from my family, from the house, from my dad was like a lot, right? Like when it came to any other class, I was totally fine. Like I'll fucking ace that class. But when it came to biology, I didn't like it, but I had to do it because it's part of the curriculum. So I failed that class because I knew that I wasn't good in that class, and I didn't like the teacher. I didn't like the class, right?
Hey, bruh.
I didn't like the class, and that's how it was going. So they say a coward fails many times before his death. And that's what happened to me many times, because I know the death was inevitable, which was a failure, and I failed many times going through that depression. So, I think it was a weight of expectation on me that made me go through that. That was anxiety. That was led me to depression, but I did not know what it was.
Yeah. You've also said something interesting, linking it to school and everything.
Yeah.
Our educational system is always about who they chop first.
Guy.
It's always about who they chop.
Let me ask you a question before you even go on. Have you been to a school or a class where where one person out of 10 subjects, the person claimed 9? Have you been to a class like that before?
Yeah.
And then your parents or your family members come for the speech and prize giving day. And one person, one human being, take 9 out of 10 subjects. They say that your parents, they watch you like,
stop doing
so what the fuck were you doing in that class?
Yeah, dodo. No, but you did
it in the same chorus.
Yeah, to add to what Jeffrey is saying, just yesterday I was having a conversation with a parent. So when I was in senior high school, I used to collect old books. I don't care the course. I just used to collect them because I love having books. So I met one girl and she was like, "Oh, she does accounts." And I was like, "I think I have this old accounts book. I'll pick it up for you." So I gave it to her mom, and the mom was like, the daughter had a C in elective maths, so she thinks the child needs help. And I was like, oh, she has to practice more. Then it hit me. How many times has she been having this results? She said, oh, that has been her standard since. It's like the girl has anxiety with mathematics. So it's either she practices more, or you guys try and get, okay, it depends on how the child learns. Maybe the child is a visual learner like me. So what I did was I used to move to the TAs and get exam answer sheets. Not the question, but the answer sheets that we write the answers.
You don't get the questions.
Oh, no.
Just jump straight to the answer sheet.
What I used to do was the answer sheets, those booklets, I will pick them and answer questions. I'll use that to answer my questions. Like when I study the questions in it, to make me feel like I'm actually writing an exam. Because before, the subjects I don't like, when I see the paper now, actually, then I start to sweat. Because who better exams? You get it? It's a state of the mind. So if your child, you should know whether your child is a visual learner or the child is, crumbs anything in and out, or a repetitive learner. You have to repeatedly tell the child this and that, and you need to know that child before you actually push that child. Do this, do that. So I told her that if she can't do that for her daughter, talk to a teacher, give her answer sheets, you know, practice with it, do more work with it. Maybe she will be fine that way. Yeah. So to those in school, that's one of the best ways. It's okay not to be okay.
Are you sure?
Yes.
It's okay not to be okay, but these kids don't understand. And what brings about the depression and the mental health issues with the school thing and being first is, kids don't give a fuck.
Somebody for top class.
Like, some of us do, we beg.
What I mean by that is, let me kids
in a class, somebody for top class
talk anything and they want to talk. Like kids don't care about your mental health issue or how you're gonna feel and like why you are worried. You're last. And they'll tease you. And these things, because our educational system is designed like that, like who was first and who was last. People who happen to be at the bottom have these issues where they have to deal with their colleagues,
Yeah.
teasing them, and then they may not necessarily like it. I mean, nobody likes that,
Of course.
but they have to endure. And then they are hurt, they are shy,
That's true.
and they hide all these things within them, and then they are just going up and down. Maybe sometimes, honestly, it's not their fault, because information now has helped us to know that we have something called dyslexia and learning disabilities and stuff like that, which we don't know here in Africa. So for us, we expect every kid to be first.
Exactly.
But for maybe those in the bottom, maybe theoretical questions may not be their
That's strong
field.
suit, exactly.
They are more practical with stuff. So
That's
maybe
true.
in their learning, they should have more practical means of learning what people can just look at and learn.
Yeah.
And these kids are going to grow thinking they are not smart enough.
That's true.
And it's going to be in their heads. So these kids may be like ministers or some inventors,
I'm
or
telling you.
do some crazy things later in life. But because of our educational system and how it
Tune the mind.
tunes the mind and
Yeah.
also victimize people, they grow up thinking they are not good enough,
Yeah.
and then they don't achieve their potential in the end, which affects the country as a whole, because we are missing out on great inventors,
great talents. Exactly.
and all that
Obi
is
also
dead.
Okobobo, I'm did not go to medical
You
school.
Bob? What the fuck?
Lukaku, Project Mbappe. Who did not go to medical school?
Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
So this mental health issue, like when I listened to the song, I was like, oh shit, because Charlemagne the God has been big on mental health. He wrote a book, Shook One. About blacks, about the black community and dealing with mental health, and which he believes. So when I talk about the black community, I'm talking about the black Americans.
Yeah.
I think he is talking about the fact that the black community in America don't really want to touch on mental health. And when you bring it here, it's true. Africans also don't really want to touch on mental health, which made me come to believe that it's a black thing. Like, if you have that black skin, it's like a taboo. We don't want to look, hell, even if you're going to get married, back in the day, I don't know if it's still being done now, but I think it's still being done now. People actually go to investigate the other family for things like this. For instance, mental illness. That is one of the things they look out for. Whether they have some disease or they get crazy and shit like that.
It's
So
very true, especially with their cans.
especially with their cans. So
they do
people
that.
investigate this thing. So, and all that is victimization. So if there was a family that had an issue that needed help, one, we did not give the help because we thought, oh, we moved the Omabodam. And now we victimized the whole family because one person had a problem which just needed help, like therapy. Like, are you getting the point?
This is new to me.
It's new to you.
That's
This
his
is
privilege. That
rich
that's
people
just-
problems.
Hey, Charlie, rich people problems.
Come on, fuck off, alright?
Rich people problems. So Charlie.
Yeah, but you see,
Fuck
and,
you.
and
All of you.
and that is why the Kojo Cue's song meant so much to me. I really commend him for that, because he was really talking about something
Yeah.
that ought to be talked about.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, we have delayed too much.
You know, he said something, and my auntie has actually asked me this before. This was when I was doing my masters. This was when I was away from my family, away from my country, in a secluded place, you know, just alone, trying to fend for myself. My auntie called, and she said, you know, it's just like the usual pleasantries. Oh, hi, how you doing? How's everything doing? And then she was like, Jeffrey, are you happy? It wasn't how are you? It wasn't how are you feeling? It was, are you happy? Are you happy? Like, it's the question is right now is a yes or no situation. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not. Oh, I'm fine. I'm good. You know. It's are you happy? Low key, I just broke down.
You started crying.
I just broke the fuck. I don't know why, but I just broke down. Reason being, I couldn't answer the question. Was I
Couldn't even
happy
tell whether you're happy or not?
or was I sad?
Shit.
But I was happy because I was doing things to suppress my sadness. Do you get me? That's what was happening.
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
This, in its sense, is mental health.
Yeah.
This needs therapy. This needs an intervention.
That's something.
I was going out almost every Friday just to stay happy
Because you're hiding something.
because I was
Yeah.
hiding.
You
I was
didn't want to
suppressing
deal with
something.
something that
Exactly.
you know you
Yeah,
had to deal with.
yeah.
Exactly.
And, last time we went somewhere and we met this happy guy. Like he's very
He's very happy.
Happy catch up.
yeah, like,
Happy busy so Charlie.
he was and is and forever will be happy.
Bless that guy, man.
And he's always chilling. He's drinking. He's having a good time. And a friend of mine was like, "What is he hiding?"
Exactly.
It didn't click me at first. Like,
Exactly.
what did they talk about?
Yeah.
And like, what is he hiding? I don't. The guy there.
The guy.
No, that's not what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
that's
Why
yeah.
does he feel the need to be happy,
Happy.
all the time? Because you can't be happy all the time. Sometimes you just need to take a break and do some shit.
Yeah.
So what is he preventing? What is that he doesn't want to deal with? So in his free time, anytime he's free, he wants to be happy. I was like, well, you've got a point.
He's masking something.
You've got a point, but I wouldn't say he's trying to hide from something.
Yeah.
Maybe he's also very busy. So when he gets his free time,
He just wants to be happy.
No, he is
like,
hiding
just
something.
chill.
Yeah.
But it got me thinking. I was like, oh shit, I never really thought about that. Because, you know, growing up, coming up, all of us, everybody listening to us, sometimes we did some shit we knew we were going to be punished for. And, you know, so like you go to school and you fuck up, and you know, when you get home, they'll punish you. So it gets you thinking. So what do? You try to indulge in something which takes your mind off
yeah.
the real issue.
I didn't serious.
Like, go play ball.
Like go play ball.
Go play
Or
ball.
something.
Yeah.
Before you get home, and then whatever happens,
So
and then you
it's
move
already
on.
done.
Are you getting the point?
Yeah.
And in the same vein, I quickly understood what my friend was saying. That is it that guy has some issue, like a mental health issue, like something bothering him.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
But could it also be like a defense mechanism for him?
It is.
That's
To
what
cope.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I want to.
So it could be he doesn't want to think about something, like something which actually
Yes.
bothers him.
So he's
something
coping.
that he needs help with.
He's
to get
coping
over.
Yes.
with
You know-
excessive joy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No,
So he's battling that with being excessively happy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Charlie-
So that he doesn't have to deal with that.
That's,
Are you
that's
getting the
very
point?
true.
And
Like,
it's hypothetical, but it could be true. And I'm
Yeah.
saying, if when we were growing up, because then we beat we for house, we go and play ball just to forget, and then
Yeah.
later go and face the music. If we did that, then he actually had a point.
True.
And I think in our daily lives, we
We
do
do
that without
that.
even knowing
You
it.
don't know,
do
yeah.
that.
I used to do that when I was little. I only realized now that what I was doing. So basically, if I fuck up at home, you know, the only person who more or less, you know, puts me on a straight path was my dad. So during the day, if maybe like I break something or I mess up or I throw tantrums, what I do is I go to sleep early, so that when my dad gets home,
You don't go beat you.
you know, beats me. You go figure out, say, oh, the boy
no,
bed.
they're chill.
I mean, it worked for like a
So
good
can't wake you
a
up.
good 2-3 weeks. After
Yeah, you see
that,
them
guy, they used to wake me up,
Strip you there, go back
go
to sleep.
flash me.
Ah, oh, better.
Now go bed. So
Yeah.
now, if anybody, if someone opens my door now in the house now, I'll wake up because I know what is coming.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So I still have
So that has left a dent.
exactly. I
Yes,
still have that
yes,
in the
yes.
back of my mind.
I mean, regarding what Derek said, I literally do that every time. When I wake up and I'm in a bad mood, on the days I'm in a bad mood, I look the best. I will shudder. So I'll get compliments.
Ladies and
So I will
gentlemen,
look
if you know
nice.
Gabne when she's talking about Shada Charlie,
Hey, hey.
I try, please. I
Yeah.
don't reach, but I try. But I mean, I will do that. It's either that or I'm extremely jovial. I will laugh about anything and everything. I'll make sure anything and everything is a joke.
yeah,
So that, I mean, I don't want to get to that point. And I always say that I have the days I face my battles. So I know that there's a problem I need to face, but I will postpone it.
for now, dear,
Yeah.
make her chill small.
Yeah. So maybe end of month, I tap there, I said, "Oh, Charlie, this thing for face out." So one day, I was like, no, I need to sit down and search myself. So I asked myself a question: what breaks you the most? I asked myself that question. For a good 5 minutes, I was crying. I was just sitting in my room. Just because I asked myself that question, I was crying. Not because I couldn't answer the question, but because I found out that I can answer the question, but I don't want to face whatever it is that breaks me. I don't want to admit to myself that, Gamal, this breaks you and you need to fix it. Because of two things. Maybe I feel it cannot be fixed and it's stuck with me for life. Or I'm too scared to try and fix it. So that hits me. So it's like, you are facing a wall. There is nowhere to go. So you just have to admit to yourself, you have to start breaking that wall. Else you'll be stuck there. So that's what happened to me.
Charlie, you know what I just realized?
What's that?
Charlie, I need help.
Serious help.
I need help.
You need to do a lot of
anybody who knows me, I'm very
self-searching.
jovial.
Yeah.
Well, people who are very close to me know I'm very jovial and I talk a lot and I laugh and I have fun and shit and I don't conform and all that stuff.
Something day.
And just when you're saying what you're saying, I was thinking, could that be a problem? I mean, I love doing that, but when did I start that? Because me, I know for a fact, I move on quickly from stuff. Nothing really bothers me. Like when something happens, I'm always calm, collected. I just Charlie, then I'm gone.
Let it go.
I let it go quickly.
We locomote.
Even if it's a serious issue, I just let it go and then I quickly move on. And now I'm beginning to question that. Is it okay to just let it go and move on? Or maybe I should spend some more time to deal with it. And it's not that I don't deal with it. I do. But the level at which I can just let things go, it's amazing. Like I'm too calm. Sometimes my own liking it. I'm too calm. Man, Charlie, we all get some shit to deal with.
I swear down.
What made me realize that this thing is very important is when I noticed I'm very jovial. I felt the need to make people happy when I go out of the house because I'm not happy inside the house. So I felt the need to make people happy. So when people laugh about the things I do and I say, then I feel like, oh hey, you can actually make people happy, so that should make you happy. So when I get back home, I'm mostly stuck to myself. I hardly talk, but when I come out, I'm more outspoken. So what am I hiding? Why am I like shying away from the truth of whatever it is? And then I'm rather finding ways and means, because these same people might hurt you in the end, and you realize that what their energy is not even what you want.
Yeah.
But because you just want people around you, so Charlie, make we do chat and laugh.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Charlie. It's crazy. And Kojo Cue.
Thank you so much for this song, Kojo Cue. Never mind.
And like I always say, all the songs about Kojo Cue, like we've done the Rich Dad Poor Dad, now we're doing the Nevermind. It's not over. Like there should always be a part 2 to this, because I really think we need to tap into the composer's mind.
Yeah.
You know what he was thinking about when he was jotting down those lyrics, because I think it meant something to him for him to want to pen down those lyrics. What went through his mind at the time for him to want to talk about that? And what was his motivation? I really want to know that Kojo Cue, if they listen, guy, Charlie, make we-
I'm
do
chasing you
something.
down.
What could
Kojo
do
Cue.
something? Because this mental health problem,
Yes,
like if
Charlie.
you add religion to it, then you fuck the whole thing up.
Yo, can we? You, please, Ghanaians, please stop being religious when it comes to mental issues.
I get to the point, like
Please.
when you add religion to it and how we think and how we go about certain things, then you know it's a national crisis.
Charlie,
It's something
it's
that
a
we
serious
really
matter.
need to sit down and talk about. Black people need help. Africans need help. Ghanaians need help. I think we are all broken, and we do not want to accept the fact that we are broken, and we keep on keeping on.
Charlie, but I
It needs
mean,
to change.
we have to make the money. We don't get time.
Yeah, I know. We have to make
Wow.
them, but you see, it's
Look
like
at
we are
time.
repeating the cycle. It keeps
Yes,
going
it's
round
the
and
cycle.
round and round
Yes.
and round.
And when you try breaking it, you know, it's a force. It's like when you're going in. Okay, let me take the centrifugal force. Okay, I'm sorry, I went that way now. So let's say centrifugal force. So let's say you're going in a circle in a particular direction, yeah, and then you decide to stop. Okay, and other people are following you. Those people are going to hit you very hard.
Yeah.
Okay, or you decide to go against the flow of your traffic before, you're going to hit those people so hard. So the effect of trying to create a change is gonna hit us really hard. But I think we have to do this for the next generation.
There you go.
Yeah, my auntie told me something. She said mental health, if you have a problem, okay, it's not bad to admit it, but if you don't fix it, it's like a sore that you keep on scratching in. It will get deeper and deeper. And Charlie, when it gets deep, trying to fix it, heal it, you will even sew it. You will try hiding it, but it's gonna
It creates a scar.
it's going to be so hard for you to heal.
Yeah, it creates a scar.
And then it trickles down, because I think the reason why nobody talks about it is because in the past nobody talks about it. They rather consult gods. They rather go and talk to an idol or something, because men come as a min trubia. Do you get it? But now we have certified therapists, people who are appointed by law, not to even talk about your matter with anybody. Trust that person with what they have to say.
Well, I would say trust.
That word.
Well, you see, I think that's the other thing. The thing is, who do we talk to right now? Because
Certified therapists,
do we still trust them?
family.
Because you don't even talk to your family.
You see,
You dey pay am and you go trust
if
them.
you listen,
It's cool.
If you listen to the Kojo Cue's Nevermind track, he said
But- okay.
certain things. I want to talk about. Like I want to tell my mom.
Who
but
are you going
those
to
things
tell?
I can't tell my
Yeah.
mom. So
Exactly.
who am I going to? You know.
Exactly.
Talk
That's
to.
that's what I'm saying. So you're saying you pay your therapist.
They are
Cool.
therapists.
Do you?
But-
So do
you
you?
see-
No. Right now, you say you're seeing a therapist. Do you
Yes.
pay your own therapist?
Yes.
Cool. So now you are bounded by your contract with the therapist to talk. You know,
Yes.
to pay your therapist and to talk about what you have to talk about. But it's a different situation. Imagine someone who's obviously younger than you, who's going through all of this. He cannot talk to his mom. She cannot talk to.
You should
know,
be
No,
willing
but
and
James,
ready.
see, the point here is, and I think that's the way going forward.
No, let me finish. What I'm trying to say is, so this younger person gets a therapist, but his mom or her mom gets a therapist for him or her. And then the therapist, assuming we have, patients, doctor confidentiality kind of thing, but we know who's paying. Do you get me?
No.
So we know who the information is coming back to.
Jeffrey.
No, but you see, that's what I wanted to address. I'm saying
Yeah.
that to solve this issue, sometimes it's good to have these certified therapists and everything, but as parents, I think we shouldn't be too tough on our kids. We're supposed to build a relationship,
Yes. Yes.
some sort of friendship. You're a parent. Your first job is to be a parent. Your kid is not your fucking friend.
Okay,
Kids should understand that you are a parent.
that's true.
Doesn't mean you can't be a friend at the same time.
True.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you can't be the ear to listen to all the problems that a kid has.
Yeah.
So we have
That's
to.
it.
It has to be like very intentional to create that sort of relationship, so that your kids can come to you and talk to you about whatever it is that
They're
you're
going
going through. It's difficult, especially as Africans, but we have to. It doesn't mean you can't discipline your kid.
Yeah.
It means you can discipline your kid and still advise your kid
Yes.
at the same time. You know, when he or she is going through some shit. Because as we did talk, therapy is rich people problems.
Please, it's not. We beg you. It's
How
not.
much is it? You know on talk.
I'll be charging dollars. You will leave me alone.
She's paying a fortune.
And then bleed for a year, please. Charity case. Go find me account.
I get to the point.
Yeah.
So it's rich people problems, but for those people who are less privileged, you know, have some therapists, you know,
No, but wait.
the family becomes the therapist, the brother, the sister,
No,
the mom,
Derek.
the dad.
Outside that,
If
we
they-
have schools.
You see, the problem about schools is there are so many opinions in schools.
Schools must have therapists and counselors in them.
Okay,
My
I see,
school
I,
had
see- I
that.
see what you mean.
Yes, but nobody
I
will go
want to
because
take
they are
it from-
scared like
from the
that.
primary
On my school, they didn't have that.
I want
go
to take
school,
it from
Baba,
the
bruh.
primary aspect where a family makes up the community.
Yeah.
Your family, my family, we all come together and we make up the community, we make up
Yeah.
the nation, we make up the region, whatever, the world. So the base of the problem will be the family. The family should create a conducive environment for kids to thrive, to grow, to get the help they desire, so that they don't grow up being broken.
Yeah.
Or they don't grow up with all these issues. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. And then we have the secondary part
Schools,
where the
yeah.
school or maybe, you know, get a
In your
therapist to talk to.
neighborhood
But
and all those
I'm
things.
saying the kid is more comfortable with
Yeah.
his or her family. If we create that environment, they'll be willing to talk to us. And maybe, just maybe, because your kids are talking to you, you may find it surprising, but you may end up being the one getting the therapy you deserve.
Exactly. Because you still hold
Yeah.
that thing that you've been
Exactly,
holding
because
on
you're
to
also
since.
coming from a broken
Exactly.
background,
Yeah.
and your kid talking to you, you tend to be empathetic, sympathetic, and then
Why? Because you're projecting your
Exactly.
past on your child.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And your
Then
child
you
is just
see
feeding it back to
things.
you.
There you go. So
Exactly.
it's like you're looking into a mirror.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're helping your kid,
And
then
in turn,
helping
you're helping
yourself
yourself.
at the same time.
Yeah. To add to what you said, I want to talk about two kids. It's an example I read in a book. So these two boys went for camp meeting, and this whole weekend camp thing, and then both of them were offered weed. One of them said no bluntly, and when he got home, he told his mom that this my friend offered weed to me, and I said no, I don't like it, and if he doesn't stop that, he's not going to be his friend anymore. And the mom said okay. The other guy didn't tell his mom, first of all. Secondly, the mom heard it from somewhere. The other guy actually took the weed and everything. The mom heard it from somewhere and asked the son that, oh, why did you do this? He said, oh, he didn't see the reason why. He didn't want to hurt his friend's feelings, so he didn't want to say no. This is two different homes where one, the first child was taught to have and respect his own choice. Taught to say you can say no if you want to say no. It's okay to forget about everybody's feelings and think about yourself first and say no. But for the other child, if you look, he was forced to do things. He was forced to. He wasn't given choices growing up. He was forced to say, "Oh yeah, then let's go." Because my mother said let's go, I have to follow her. You don't ask where are we going? Why should I follow you? It is wrong. So that's the two different families. The environment to ask questions and have a choice, and the environment where you are not allowed to do that. I grew up in some environments where if you ask questions, it's a talk back. So when I changed environment,
It's not just you, every African.
oh no. Let me tell you, when I changed my environment when I was doing my 7A, yo, if you ask a question, it's not a talk back. You'll be answered.
Listen to what you said.
No. I was
Yeah, you know
living
they
with someone. Okay,
You know they
and
are-
like no, it was like my friend and his mom.
Yeah, but how old were you? You were doing national service.
Yeah, I mean, I was like 21 by then.
You are old.
No, but with him, not even with me, with him and his mom. The mom says, "Don't do this." Then you ask the mom, "Why shouldn't you do this?" Like that's. I still saw it as disrespectful. I used to shout him. I'm like, "Hey, Charlie, you're making the question up like that." He said, I can't I know." That's when I realized that no, you can actually do that. If they said don't do this, first of all, ask, "Oh, why can't I do this?" Or like, is there anything wrong with doing this? But to me, I grew up in an environment whereby if you do that, Charlie, you talk back. It go over you for days.
Okay, kids, if you're listening to this, please don't listen to Gamel, or else your parents will slap the shit out of you.
Ask,
This is
ask,
Africa. Don't
ask
force
politely.
till thy kingdom come.
Ask politely, guys.
Ask politely.
Yes.
Asking
Don't
is
forget
the
your
problem.
please and thank you.
Asking is the problem.
Well, that's all. Like Charlie,
Charlie, it affects the kids in class.
I know it
Don't
does.
be bizarre questions.
I know it does, but I'm saying, Charlie,
That's true, you know. That's true.
be strategic in asking questions
That's
because
true.
they may slap the taste out of your mouth.
But
I'm
you know-
waiting for the generation that will actually play mind games on their parents. Because this generation, our parents are playing mind games on us.
Let me tell you something. This I realized this, and with this whole ask a question, Sonny. Back in school, I thought about my questions 4 times over before I asked them. Every fucking time. When I went to do my masters in the UK, the teacher would tell you, or the lecturer would tell you, or the professor would tell you, no question is a foolish question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No question. And you listen, the amount of foolish questions are here
Of course.
for that class inside. It over me. But to the and the funny thing is, anytime the professor was answering a question, he never made you or himself let anyone know that it was a stupid question. Some answers came in and it was the most ridiculous answers ever. But the professor always said, "Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a good angle to look at. But that's not what I'm looking at, or that's not what I'm looking for." The questions the answers. The questions the answers be very stupid. Imagine answering a question like that in Ghana or in Africa.
We will love you.
You never go forget this thing. There's a boy who was supposed to spell. Oh, I forget the thing. Even now, he was supposed to spell something. Then he did do guy way. Like even the pronunciations, if you fuck up the pronunciation before he even spelled the thing. Up to now, we never forget. Look, I forget.
That be
Up to now, Ibab. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So, like you were saying, I was asking questions like, "Mom, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? Why?" If you go ask why, like you were saying, then go sound you.
You be clap back.
Ibab.
But
Serious clap back.
I get what you mean, but I think in the same light, that sort of environment is what makes us tough.
It makes us tough.
Yeah, so
But it's also a disadvantage.
I like the fact that it makes us tough, but
It's a disadvantage.
I want us to add the fact where if you have an issue, you shouldn't even have to realize you have an issue. As grown-ups, like people who are privileged to have been there already. If there's a toxic environment for a kid or for anybody, and that is what is informing this particular type of behavior.
But how will you
or
know though?
character.
How will you know though?
You have to be
Because
observant.
you're older.
You're older, but you've been through that situation, and for you thought that was the right situation because it led you to a good path.
You've got a very good point, but I still think in beginning of this podcast I said something about innately knowing some shit.
Yeah.
Innately knowing some shit.
We spoke about this in the whole break the cycle.
Yes.
The thing is, if you know, you're woke, and then you try to break the cycle, it's different from you continuing the cycle and thinking that is the right direction to move.
I know, but innately you know some shit.
Okay, that's a
So when
different
you grow
situation.
You see, so innately you know some shit. When you grow up, Now you're supposed to activate what you already know.
Yeah.
And that is why in law they say there's no excuse
For ignorance.
for ignorance. So yeah, we understand you didn't read the law, but you're an adult. Nobody asked you not to
Not
read
to
the
read
law.
it. Exactly.
Are you getting the point? So it's
Yeah.
the same thing. Even though the environment you grew up in made you who you are, and that's all you can see. You can't see past your options. We get that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, innately you know some shit.
Charlie, that be why the life not they
And
add up.
that is why
You definitely laughed at the other.
Integration and differentiation.
are you getting
You know
the
they add
point?
up.
So we have to do better for these kids coming up. When I say kids, I'm talking about just your kid. I'm talking about everybody you see out there
Yeah.
who may have a problem that the person doesn't even
Even know.
If you see there's a problem, try and help the person out. Like I said, therapy is very bougie in these parts of the world.
Sure. Because it's expensive.
It's expensive, but
Hey, we was trying to do
Gamel is very
something for
bougie.
them.
That's
She's
what we're
she's
trying to
paying
say.
Aye.
she's paying in dollars.
Yeah, be a
She's paying in
bougie.
dollars. That's why she say what she's saying.
No,
That's
but
what we're trying to say.
I've actually thought of the fact that I want to be, after finding myself in the end, I want to be able to help others find themselves.
Oh, thank you.
What?
Where did you find
Yes. I won't lie to myself.
That's not what she said.
I wasn't lost, my guy. Hey,
Well, that's why
Charlie, I lost for some road there.
She finds herself for Kotobabi.
You guys are mean. Because
that is some bougie shit.
hey, you people see, nobody is
From Chasako to Kotobabi.
nobody is more bougie
Yeah, you
than,
lost, oh.
than Jeffrey here. Please, Jeffrey's way bougie.
Easy.
Oh, shit.
This is the defense
I mean,
mechanism. Oh. You
think
dey throw him to my side.
These young girls need to know. These young girls and even the young boys need to know. Like some girls are out there spending or forcing to look some type of way because of things like this. Because they've come to understand that you become more acceptable if you look this way, or this is a trend. All these things, they need to know that when you accept yourself, you know there's something like some clothes don't fit you, and you buy for so bet you. There's class and then there is trend. You bob. All these teens growing up and all that, they need to understand that first of all, you're actually starting a new generation. So if you allow yourself to like bend towards what is already done, you're going to be as damaged as the elderly ones. So if you look at your mom or your dad and they're doing something you don't like, my guy, change the course.
That's the adulthood I'm talking about. So innately you know some shit. When you're an adult, it's on you to activate
Yes.
what you already know in you. It's difficult because of your environment.
Exactly.
But it's a must. It's important that you do that. Yo guys, what's up?
I mean, I only have one question for both of you. Right. And it might seem a bit weird, but this is what I've been thinking since yeah. So my question to both of you is, when you were talking about, mental health and, finding solutions to it, one question, who are you thinking about? Derek,
Me.
you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah.
Come on, who are you thinking about?
Myself.
Okay.
Who are you thinking about?
I mean, my next generation, I guess.
Hey,
My-
sorry, deep
my
thinker.
child. No, because what Gamal was talking about, I heard you saying a lot about kids, and Derek, what I heard you say was more about, the kids growing up, after you. That's what I heard.
That's the main reason why I'm saying me.
Okay,
Because I need to work on me.
you need to work on you to
Help
move the next.
somebody. Are you getting the point?
Nice.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I'm saying. So when I say the kids, I'm actually looking at me.
Wow.
So I made that statement about you helping somebody, vice versa. You're helping yourself. So it's like you're looking in a mirror because you're trying to help somebody. and then
Exactly.
You start unearthing things you didn't even know were problems.
I mean,
know?
you've mentioned already.
Exactly.
Back in, yeah. Okay.
So I was thinking about me.
All
I
right.
need to be better for the next generation.
Exactly. All right. I'm done.
Jamel,
Yeah.
any last words?
My last words is a therapy session question. What do you want in life? What
Besides
do-
some money and
No,
pussy.
I mean, well,
Straight to the point.
well, This
What
wasn't
else
for
you need in
Derek,
life?
but
What else?
so this is for the listeners. Like, I want you guys to sit down, like 2 to 3 minutes. Ask yourself, what do you like? Okobaina, giddy giddy, up and down, left and right.
What's
All right,
life?
listen.
What do you
Gamel
want?
is saying,
What is life?
Don't think about mine.
What do you want?
Just think about money or
Maybe
pussy.
Hey.
Jeffrey. Maybe you want to be happy, you want to be all those things. Just write it down.
Money buys
And
happiness.
within this 3
Pussy.
minutes,
Extra.
Don't
extra
say
my days, these guys.
Oh my days.
So you guys realize why I'm broken, because these people.
Oh please,
So-
you met us 2 minutes ago.
Thank God.
Fuck off.
And the last thing is, within that 3 minutes, imagine 3 scenarios that help you achieve what you want. So let's say you want to be happy. So imagine, close your eyes in a very quiet place. Imagine 3 scenarios that will make you achieve that. Or maybe mine is buying something nice for myself, or being with somebody I love the most, or floating in like on the pool. That's basically like peace. And ask yourself why each and every one of those scenarios
Will make you happy.
make you achieve what you want. And that's the beginning of your self-search. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Drop the mic.
Like the dollars you they
before
pay
I
for
say
therapy
mine,
session is actually paying off.
I'll bleed, please.
Before I say mine, you mentioned something about floating. I hate fat niggas who float.
Ew.
I'm very envious of those niggas because I don't understand.
They are show-offs.
Me, I'm not fat. I'm always drowning. These motherfuckers are always floating.
And you know there's something about floating. There's a lesson about floating.
I'm not interested in that.
Okay. It's a trust issue thing if you're always drowning when you're
I'm
trying to
just
float.
hating on them. That's all I'm saying.
Charlie, you wait for go deep like that.
Charlie, if you don't go deep, this life, inside life, you know they add up.
What do I have to say? All I have to say is, yo, Charlie, mental health is an issue. We need to shine a bit more light on it. And thank you for Kojo Cue for that track, Nevermind.
Nevermind.
Beautiful, beautiful track, double entendre kind of title. And it sparks a thought, it sparks a conversation. That's exactly what we're doing here. And I hope we all take it serious, from the family level to school level to the tertiary level. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of our minds, our brains, our mental health. It's not a joke. Kindly take it seriously. And parents, please pay attention to your kids. They are the next generation. They are the future. And at the end, it affects the country. It affects the people who lives in the country. So, hey, we hope you enjoyed it. And if you made it this far with us, Charlie, we appreciate you. You be guy.
Yeah, thanks.
You be guy. It's within our normal, duration. So you be guy. And thank you for listening. Get interactive with us on Facebook at Views Podcast, on all social media platforms at Views Podcast, YouTube at Views Podcast, except on Instagram, podcast_views. Everywhere at Views Podcast. Get interactive. Send us an email on viewspodcast86@gmail.com if you want to be on this platform to share your views, just like we're doing. Charlie, thank you. And you, Gamel, your social media handles.
It's at Garmel_GHAR.
Gamel and Gamel.
It's Garmel.
Yeah, so
But you see, I'm trying to avoid questions
it,
like
spell it.
this. So _GHARMELLE.
Ghana near the mail account.
Say
Say G.
Garmel.
Yeah, I thought it was GR or something.
In a nutshell, guard your input pods. Thank you.
All right. So get interactive with us on all social media platforms. We hope you enjoy this. If you listen to this and you enjoyed it, good for you. If you didn't, good for you as well. As always, we're just here to spark a thought, a conversation. And as always, as we say, love God, love yours, and love all. We out.
You roll, so never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. Never mind, never
Obitiako can't yasha bear my sin. Min kama sem tro never go to ko waka. Tell you a friend or a journalist. Sometimes you be loyal or pass. But I still can't fuck with you, cause somebody helped me back. And a brother get trust issues. Remember when I said all the negative energy no they bother me? I lied. Even Jesus had to cry sometimes. So when I'm down, I hide. Or I tweet, or I sleep, or I cut myself just to see if I go fit take one pain over another. It never did work, my brother can't trust the soul but my mother. But I know if you tell her these things, hold the pain in my head till I'm dead. Every day I hear voices scream, you need to let somebody in. You need to let somebody hear. You need to let somebody help. Can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah. When you ask how I'm doing, you sound like you care. When you say how you do, you sound like you share. But we both know you don't. We both know you won't. So never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. Never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. I'm doing fine, doing fine, doing fine, doing fine. Never mind, never mind, never mind.
If you can't help yourself, I think you need some help. You can't help yourself, I think you need some help. If you can't help yourself, I think you need some help. Need some help.